Infinite fans rejoice. We finally have the return of the Masked Jackal in the Chaotix Case Files Episode 7.
Lights, camera, action.
But before we get into that though, make sure to like and subscribe because we're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers whenever we do that, and likes will help me out in the algorithm. Also make sure to turn on all notifications so you never miss another Sonic Boy upload. That's right folks, after 3 episodes of teasing it, we finally have the reveal of Infinite in the Chaotix Case Files. This time around he's after the astroscopic lenses, which are a central plot point in the podcast up until this point, with the Chaotix being hired to collect them all and give them to a museum or something like that. I can't remember specifically who it was, but I know Professor Victoria, that character that we know so little about, is in fact involved with that. Now, with the Phantom Ruby destroyed, Infinite needs a new power source to harness the power of illusion. So he takes it upon himself to find the final one and get the rest of them from the Chaotix so he can finally reveal his full power once again. In episode 7, it ends on a cliffhanger where the Chaotix ends alongside Sonic, Tangle, Whisper, and Tails all have to go up against him in the next episode, dropping on March 17th. This is crazy. Imagine going back 9 years ago telling a Sonic fan who was very unsatisfied with Forces saying Infinite will return in a podcast as the main villain. They would not believe you. I know I definitely wouldn't, especially like a couple years after that too. Like, things were so bad at that time. I can't believe we're at this point where we have a podcast that has Infinite, the Jackal, Tangle, and Whisper, Vanilla, Gemerald, Commander Towers, a new character in Professor Victoria, the Babylon Rogues. I think that would like make a Sonic fan's mind from 2015, even like up till like 2019, just explode. What do you mean it's from the guy writing the Archie comics? What do you mean those got canceled? Some of you casuals are probably thinking to yourself, Sonic Boy, I thought he was dead. What happened? Well, for that answer, I'm going to direct all of you over to the Sonic Boy Library. Here is my vast collection of books throughout the Sonic franchise, not including the IDW ones. Ta-da! I know it's very cramped in there, but that's like over 100 books right there, I think. For the answer, we're gonna have to pull out the Sonic Encyclopedia. This thing has answers to practically everything, including the mistake I made on the last video saying that Gemerald was not an Eggman creation, which he was. That's on page 144. It specifically says it. I've never played Advance 3. I'm sorry. But what it has to say in relation to Infinite is this. After his final defeat, he and his prototype are consumed by the original Phantom Ruby. See, even Ian Flynn thought he was dead. Man, the difference 5 years makes. Even the characters in the podcast thought he was dead too. They keep saying stuff like Infinite, back from the dead, or stuff like that, you know? It's just a very weird thing. If they did ever want him to come back, I don't know why they would leave that so, like, kind of saying, yeah, he's dead, but, like, not really saying it, you know? Just say he's missing. In fact, that's what Infinite says too. He was kind of just going all around the world, apparently not even being recognized, even though he committed horrible crimes for like 7 months straight. So he's not dead, obviously. But now, what does this mean for the future? Obviously, we're gonna have another episode featuring him. That's not even a question. Obviously, it's a 2-parter, and Infinite's still alive at the end of the first part, so we're definitely going to be seeing him in the next one. But I'm talking about games, comics. I know we can already rule out merchandise because he's gotten like a Funko Pop and a bunch of other stuff recently too. Specifically in regards to games, Sonic fans have a brand new theory about that. They're saying that Infinite could potentially appear in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. At first I was kind of like, okay, so it's gonna be like a Tangle and Whisper situation. They drop the characters around the same time their voice acting debut comes out. Okay, that's some good marketing right there, I'm not gonna lie to you. But Infinite? Like, come on guys, he hasn't even been announced for the game yet. Although, for a recent March roadmap, there's a festival left as a mystery. They're not going to announce what character the festival's for yet. They haven't said anything. In fact, it's coming out after the last episode drops, or presumably the last episode of the podcast drops. Same podcast that's going to be having Infinite as the main villain. I would almost say there's no evidence to this fact beyond a couple of things. One, they haven't even announced who the character is yet. Maybe they're doing a rerun of a previous one, but to be fair, we haven't gotten any content for March yet. We've gotten content literally every single month, and well, they have like 3 DLCs coming up and like what do they have, like 7 free characters left? So I think it's time that we got something. Alongside the Chaotix Case Files, they have these videos talking about the new voice actors that are coming to the series. Infinite got his own. Take a look here.
Hi, I'm Alejandro Saab, and I don't voice this guy. He's actually not in this. I voice General and Infinite in the Chaotix Case Files. I've been a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog since I was a little kid. The very first one I played was Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, and then I went back and played the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and I've been playing the games ever since. So getting to be a part of the Sonic universe has been a lot of fun and really cool, and getting to voice not just one but two awesome characters is just really nice. And I'm so happy to be a part of this and just getting to say stuff in this universe. So thank you so much for having me. And remember to check out the Sonic Chaotix Case Files every Tuesday.
That's right, folks. He's voiced by the same guy who does General. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I barely noticed a difference when I heard the voice for the first time with all these podcasts. I've heard the voices before I've actually listened to the podcast. I heard barely any difference. In fact, if you told me it was the same guy, I would believe you. He does a brilliant job, and the fact that he shares a voice actor with General is a bit concerning to me, because that means they didn't have enough budget to hire another guy, and well, if they hired another guy, that also means he probably won't be nearly as important as we think he will be. Anyway, in this video, we actually get a somewhat brand new render of Infinite. It's right here, and well, you guys notice there's something a bit different. Obviously, it's kind of the same renders as we've gotten before, especially in regards to the Sonic Forces Speed Battle render, but there's a very big difference here. He's missing the Phantom Ruby from his chest.
And this is just me editing this now in the morning. Look at that horrible crop at his shoe.
If that is the Phantom Ruby, has that ever been established if that's actually the Phantom Ruby? It's not even remotely close to the same shape as it was amongst the prototypes in Sonic Forces alongside how it appeared in Sonic Mania. So, like, I don't know. Anyway, what's going on here? Sega hired someone to very clearly go in and either Photoshop that off of Infinite, or two, just make a completely new render without it. And well, I don't think they would have done that unless they're going to be using it somewhere else. Also, funny to mention, we have our first official General render here, and it does not look good. In fact, both of these are kind of mad. They almost look unrendered, if not for a couple of little texture things you can see. But otherwise, I think that they look fine, I suppose. This is definitely the worst I felt about Sonic renders before. So people have been speculating that Infinite is the next free character to come to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Honestly, I hope so. We need more villains in that game. If we could get like Mephiles, the rest of the Deadly Six, I know people probably wouldn't like that, but still, Black Doom, love to see characters like that. In regards to the comics, there's something to be said about the fact that the upcoming road to issue 100 for the IDW comics is going to have a brand new villain, or a seemingly brand new villain. This person. We don't know who this is, like, at all. Some people have speculated maybe it's Dr. Starline, maybe it's someone else, maybe it's Mephiles. Some people have said Mephiles too, but some people are now saying Infinite as well, because this character is going to get revealed fairly soon, and they have all of the Chaos Emeralds. So, who knows, man? Maybe he could be appearing there too. That would be really cool, you know? Have him in the podcast, have him in the racing game, have him in the comic, you know, all for this grand reappearance, you know, that'd be really cool. And then have him come back as a reoccurring character, that would be great as well. Infinite is like Miss Potential, the character, alongside like Mephiles and Silver. So I'm really glad he's getting a lot more representation here, but I'm not sure, like, if I really trust these guys to do him justice, especially because, well, his whole character is kind of just like Shadow, but worse, maybe with a couple new cool abilities. And by worse, I mean Flanders, like all the way to heck and back. Like, he is like such, like, he's almost like how Sonic Boom wrote Shadow, but like a lot more edgy. Speaking of edgy, I'm not sure how many of you guys know this, but if you type in the edgiest song in the world, Infinite's theme song does pop up. Look it up on YouTube. I swear that's true. In fact, here's my search result for it. That's just funny right there, and I'm glad that the edgiest boy alive is finally getting more representation. Now, going beyond Infinite, hopefully they can do this for more characters like Mephiles. They did it with Black Doom and Sonic X Generations. He had his grand reappearance there. But maybe characters like Dr. Eggman, you know what? Maybe we could have Chaos back in some way, especially with the Chaos creatures from Sonic Frontiers. The Deadly Six, give them good writing this time. There's so many different things you could bring back that I think it'd be really cool. That's what I want them to do. In fact, that was the whole idea of my last Chaos Case Files video, is the fact that This is such a cool way to bring old characters back and introduce ones that maybe people don't even know that well, like the IDW characters. And I hope they do that for the villains. That would just be so cool. In fact, the Sonic series has a villains problem. I know a great video on this. Sonic Theory, my main man. Check his channel in a couple weeks. You'll see something there. I think he sums it up very well. I would definitely recommend go checking it out. In fact, it'll be in the description. Sonic just needs a lot more villains, man. A lot more representation in regards to that. Like, you know how Spider-Man is like just Spider-Man, maybe a couple heroes here and there, and then it's just like his whole rogues gallery? Sonic has the opposite problem where it's like Dr. Eggman, a couple of villains here and there. That's just Sonic's heroes gallery, just like everywhere. Like Sonic has so many protagonists, it's kind of insane. In fact, I'd say the comics have actually been a really good source of Sonic villains, where you had like Mimic, Dr. Starline, the Deadly Six actually getting good representation in those books. Metal Sonic coming back, Clutch, Rough and Tumble are good like villain of the week characters. I just want other characters to get the Chaotix Case Files treatment. That's all I'm asking for, Sega. That's you'll have so much more money. You know how much you've already taken? It's not that hard. Just do that. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. I know it's I have not been good on videos recently. I know there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and hopefully this week, since it's my spring break, I will be able to kick it into high gear. But even then, I got tests to study for. In fact, I'm taking my driver's test this week, so I'm a bit scared about that. But hopefully I do well on that while making videos, while keeping up that grind, you know. And hopefully we can get to 4.4K pretty soon. That'd be pretty cool. Hey, maybe this week. Also, fun fact with this video, I did not realize my mic was not, like, fully working for about halfway through the original recording. So I've had to do this twice now. So I want you to like and subscribe for all of the hard work I had to put into this. So let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.